Hello, hello, and welcome. Before we begin, I want to name something that many people are feeling right now, even if they don't have a language for it. There is a quiet exhaustion that doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from feeling alone while you're doing it, alone in carrying responsibility, alone in worrying about the future, alone in trying to stay steady while everything else feels loud. And today we're going to explore something deeper than anxiety, deeper than stress. We're going to explore the illusion of separation and why believing you are separate from the field around you is one of the most exhausting beliefs that you can carry. This is not abstract spirituality. This is nervous system regulation reality. So let's begin. Welcome to the Aligned Human Project podcast, where consciousness meets creation and hustle gives way to harmony. I'm Dawn Elgin, contrarian soul guide, spiritual CEO, and founder of Practical Spiritualism. This is a space where we explore what it truly means to be human, aligned, awakened, and in flow with the field of life itself. Together, we'll bridge science and spirit, energy and embodiment, purpose and prosperity, so you can remember who you are beneath the programming and reclaim the power to create in full alignment with your soul. Because the next evolution of humanity isn't out there, it's in here. This is the Aligned Human Project. We are living in a culture that reinforces individual responsibility at all costs. If you're anxious, fix it yourself. If you're tired, optimize yourself. If you're struggling, improve yourself. But here's the truth. We do not exist in isolation. Your nervous system is not separate from the collective nervous system. Your stress is not purely personal. Your exhaustion is not only individual. Humans are relational beings. We co-regulate. We entrain to one another. We absorb tone, energy, and pace. So when the world is dysregulated, your system feels it. Not because you're weak, but because you're connected. You are not separate from the field, the space all around you. You are participating in it. So what is the illusion of separation? Well, separation is the belief, one, that I am alone in my experience. And what this belief sounds like internally is no one really understands what I'm carrying. This is mine to figure out. Other people seem fine. Why am not I? So here's the truth. When you believe you are alone in your experience, your nervous system goes into self-protection. Isolation activates vigilance, and vigilance feels like strength at first, but over time it becomes tension. And tension sustained becomes exhaustion. You were never meant to process life in isolation. You were wired for co-regulation. And the moment that you believe you are alone, the body braces. 2, my problems are purely mine. This belief personalizes everything. If I'm anxious, it must be my flaw. If I'm tired, I must not be optimized enough. If I'm overwhelmed, I must be failing somewhere. But we do not exist outside context. Your nervous system responds to the environment. You are living in a high stimulation, high uncertainty, high pressure culture. To assume your stress is purely personal ignores the field you are standing in. When you internalize collective stress as personal failure, you add shame to activation. And shame is heavy. It is our most dense emotion. Now, another way that separation looks is my nervous system should function independently of context. This is one of the most unrealistic expectations we can carry. We expect ourselves to stay calm no matter the environment, no matter the pace, no matter the pressure. But nervous systems don't work that way. They respond to tone, they respond to pace, and they respond to threat, real or perceived. You are not malfunctioning because you react to instability. You are responding to context. The issue isn't that you respond, it's that you judge yourself for responding. And another one is I must carry my stability by myself. This is the quiet martyr belief. If I don't hold it all together, who will? If I don't stay strong, everything will collapse. This belief creates chronic responsibility, and chronic responsibility creates chronic tension. You were never meant to be the sole stabilizer in every room, not even your family. You are responsible for your regulation. You are not responsible for stabilizing everyone else. And when you confuse those two, you burn out. This is the illusion of separation. It tells you that you are alone. It is the base of fear. It tells you everything is yours. It tells you that your nervous system should operate outside context. It tells you you must carry stability by yourself. And none of that is biologically true. We are field sensitive beings. Mirror neurons, emotional contagion, nervous system entrainment. When the field is tense, individuals feel tense. When individuals regulate, the field softens. This isn't mystical. This is observable. And the exhaustion you feel may not be weakness. It may be sensitivity without awareness. So, what the belief of separation creates is one, isolation. When you believe you are alone in your experience, isolation is the first thing that forms. Isolation doesn't always mean physical loneliness. It means internal loneliness. And it sounds like no one really gets this, or I'll just deal with it. I don't want to burden anyone. And when isolation forms, the nervous system tightens because isolation signals vulnerability without support. Humans are wired for connection, not attachment, connection. And when we isolate, even subtly, the body moves into protection. Isolation feels like strength on the surface, but underneath, it is strain. And strain sustained becomes exhaustion. 2 is shame. When you assume your stress is purely personal, shame creeps in. It says, if I were stronger, I wouldn't feel this. If I were more spiritual, I wouldn't react. If I were more evolved, I'll be calmer. Now you're not just activated, but you're judging yourself for being activated. And the shame is heavier than the stress. Stress activates the nervous system, and shame, well, it collapses it. When you internalize collective tension as personal failure, you create an unnecessary second layer of suffering. And that second layer is optional. Suffering is optional. Pain's inevitable. Now, 3 is hyper individual pressure. So this one is cultural. Hyper individual pressure says it's all on me. I have to be the one that fixes this. I need to be better. I need to hold everything together. Creates chronic responsibility. And chronic responsibility creates hypervigilance. Hypervigilance feels productive, but it is actually your nervous system staying on guard. Over time, that becomes burnout, irritability, resentment, fatigue that rest doesn't solve because the body never feels off duty. You are not designed to be the sole stabilizer in every system you enter. Now, 4th and final is performance spirituality. Now, this one's subtle. When separation is present, spirituality becomes performance. I should be calmer. I should manifest better. I should have mastered this by now. Now, spiritual practice becomes another metric, another way to measure yourself, another way to feel behind. But spirituality was never meant to be self-optimization. It was meant to reconnect you to the field. When spirituality becomes performance, it disconnects you further. And that disconnect feels like failure. But it's just separation wearing a sacred costume. Isolation, shame, hyper individual pressure, performance spirituality, these are not personality flaws. They are symptoms of the illusion of separation. And separation is not truth. It is a learned belief. Biologically, emotionally, energetically, we are field sensitive beings. Mirror neurons, emotional contagion, nervous system entrainment. When the field is tense, individuals feel tense. When individuals regulate, the field softens. Again, not mystical fluff, observable. And exhaustion that you may be feeling is not weakness. It may be sensitivity without that awareness, because we are field sensitive beings. So what are these things? Mirror neurons. So what do I mean by that? Field sensitive beings. Well, mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are part of your brain that fire not only when you do something, but when you watch someone else do it. So if someone smiles, your brain fires as if you are smiling. If someone is anxious, your brain registers that anxiety as if it is yours. This is why you can feel someone else's mood before they even say a word. This is why tension spreads in a room. You are neurologically wired to mirror the emotional state around you, not because you're weak, but because you're relational. So your brain is built for empathy. That's mirror neurons. What do I mean by emotional contagion? Well, emotional contagion is the phenomenon where emotions spread throughout a group. One anxious person can shift the entire tone of the meeting. One calm person can soften a tense conversation. This isn't poetic. This is measurable. Humans unconsciously sync facial expressions, posture, tone, and breathing. When we sync physically, we sync emotionally. So if you walk into a space where the emotional tone is high, urgent, or fearful, your system adjusts. You catch emotions the way you catch a yawn. That's emotional contagion. So what about nervous system entrainment? Entrainment is when one rhythm influences another. If you place two pendulums near each other, eventually the swing will begin to sync up. The same thing happens with our nervous systems. If you sit near someone who's regulated and grounded, your breathing will begin to slow. Your heart rate softens. Your shoulders will drop. If you sit near someone who's dysregulated, your system can speed up. We entrain to the dominant rhythm in the room. And that's why presence is powerful, because regulated nervous systems stabilize others. Presence is the key to everything. Now, holographic principles. So, holographic principle simply means the part reflects the whole. So in a hologram, every fragment contains the entire image. So if we apply this to human systems, each individual carries or reflects the larger field. Your nervous system is not separate from the collective nervous system. You influence it, and it influences you. So when the collective is tense, individuals feel tension. When individuals stabilize, the collective shifts, even subtly. You are not a drop outside of the ocean. You are a drop within it. And the ocean moves through you. This is not abstract spirituality. This is biology. This is neurology. This is observable human behavior. You are not separate from the field. You are participating in it. And if you don't understand that, you will personalize what is collective. And that personalization is exhausting. So we've talked about this. Now let's look at it from the framework of field and form. So if our field, personal field, is emotional tone, the nervous system state, inner coherence, belief structure, then form is behavior, action, words, outcomes. Most people will try to fix the form, but if the field is dysregulated, the form will reflect it. So say that again. If the field is dysregulated, the form will reflect it. When you feel separate, you try to control more. When you feel connected, you regulate first. Alignment restores unity internally, which changes how you move externally. So when the field stabilizes, form reorganizes. So how does separation show up in daily life? Let's make it practical. Separation looks like I have to do this all alone. This belief doesn't usually sound dramatic. It sounds practical. I'll just handle it. It's easier if I just do it myself. I don't want to bother anyone. But underneath it is a deeper assumption, which is if I ask for support, I'm weak. If I rely on someone, I'll be disappointed. If I lean, I'll fall. So you stop leaning. And when you stop leaning, your nervous system never fully relaxes because it believes there's no backup. Doing something alone isn't the issue. Believing that you must is. Another is no one understands. This creates emotional isolation, even in full rooms. It sounds like they wouldn't get it. It's different for me. I'll just keep this to myself. And once that belief settles in, you stop sharing honestly. You perform composure instead of expressing truth. The problem with no one understands isn't that it's always false. It's that it closes the door before connection even has a chance. And when connection closes, tension rises because the body is wired to relax in shared experience. It's like, now, the belief, it's all on me. This belief is often praised. You're responsible, dependable, strong. But when it's all on me, becomes chronic, it becomes hypervigilance. Your body stays in readiness. You scan for what might fall apart. It's like waiting for the other shoe to drop. You anticipate what could go wrong. You carry the emotional temperature of the room. And over time, that constant scanning becomes fatigue, not dramatic burnout, low grade, constant depletion, because the nervous system never feels off duty. Now, if I don't hold it all together, it will collapse. I hear this a lot. And this one runs deep. It often comes from early experiences, times when you actually did have to hold things together. So the body learned how to stay alert, how to stay strong. Don't drop the ball. But what kept you safe once may now be exhausting you. When you believe everything depends on you, your shoulders tighten. That's a big load to carry. Your breath shortens. Your system stays braced. And here's the truth. The world does not collapse when you regulate. Sorry, it stabilizes when you regulate. But if you confuse regulation with collapse, you will never rest. This is how separation shows up, not as philosophy, but as daily tension, as quiet over-responsibility, as subtle emotional isolation. And the antidote is not becoming dependent. It's remembering You are part of the field. Regulation is shared. Stability is shared. Connection reduces the load. And presence reconnects you. And when you reconnect, you stop carrying what was never meant to be carried alone. Connection looks like pausing, asking for support, slowing down before reacting so that you respond, remembering that regulation is shared. Presence reconnects you to the field. And when you reconnect to the field, you stop carrying the world alone. So with this, let's just take a moment and bring it into an embodied practice. Because it's one thing to know it up here, but can we bring it all the way down into here? So let's place one hand on our heart. Maybe you want to do one on your belly. Maybe it feels good if both are on your chest. Your call, your practice. And I just want you to imagine someone in your life who feels steady, who feels grounded. Just take a moment, just visualize or imagine them. And just bring that memory to mind. Notice what happens in your body. Your nervous system shifts simply by imagining connection. That's the field. Now imagine you becoming that for someone else. That is leadership. Where have you been carrying things alone? Where has separation shaped your stress? What would shift if you remembered you are part of a living field? You are not here to manage the world alone. You are here to participate consciously in it. And conscious participation begins with presence. Only with presence can we make a choice. This is the deeper layer of the work we do inside Align Your Life and the Aligned Human Project. Learning how to regulate your own field so you stop leaking exhaustion into your form. And if you feel called to walk this in community or with deeper support, you'll find the links below. But today, just remember, you are not alone in the field. Alignment isn't something you achieve. It's something that you return to. You are the field. You shape the form. You are not here to fix yourself. You are here to remember yourself. Because when you align with your truth, everything else begins to align with you. If this episode sparked something inside you, hit follow or subscribe and share it with someone walking their own path of awakening. And if you're ready to go deeper, you'll find free resources, programs, and community spaces waiting for you at practicalspiritualismco.com. Remember, alignment isn't a place you reach. It's a practice you live. So keep pausing, keep feeling, keep aligning. You are the field. You shape the form.